Okay, everybody. So I have a lot to share with you today. Thank you so much for being on this webinar with me. I am a real estate junkie as well. So I was a real quick backstory, if I could, real quick. Sometimes they say real quick, it ends up being longer. So hold me accountable. I'll check for the chat. I started in real estate. I was a realtor. Then I became, got my finance degree, went into lending. Shortly after that, I started to create a ton of video, ton of content. My business expanded. People started asking me, hey, can you help me with mine? Can you help me create video? And to this day, 10 years later or so, I run a full video production company, coaching company. And so we obviously media, marketing. One of our biggest things is a strategy session. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But anyway, so now we're here, 2020. We're facing a lot more challenges, different challenges, and I feel like now more than ever, video is your best friend, and I'm here to help you with that. Okay, so let me see if anyone else said anything. I'm grateful for being able to earn a living. Yes, some people can't right now, and I'm very grateful as well. I'm part of your essential businesses, and I've been able to function and work alongside you guys. And it's been a blessing. So super grateful for that. All right, so let's jump in here. Any questions before I proceed? You guys see me okay? Let me turn on my light a little bit just in case. All right, let me know if you guys can see this. Give me a thumbs up. This is going to be very interactive. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, please interact with me. It's going to be the best way that we can make sure that you guys get the information you need. Okay. Let's put the chat to the side here. All right. Screenshot. Good to go. Will you post your contact information? Yes. So real quick, David at videosellsrealestate.com. That's our, and then you could reach me. I normally don't give my cell out. We have a not a landline, but a Google line. But this is my cell, 248-125-4858. It's a, we're under 100 people right now. So you can contact me if I don't respond right away. Someone from my team will. And feel free to reach out. We have created, if you want copies of this, let me know. And I think I'm going to send this over to Shirley as well. And if you don't get it, contact me. Okay. The website is videosellsrealestate.com. So videosellsrealestate.com. Pretty easy to remember. I started. There it is. So all panelists, of course no one can see it. It's going to my panelists, not to you guys. So I actually started selling real estate with agents, not like I'm earning a commission, but I'm part of the team with video. Long ago when video was pretty much an option, and now it's almost like I would say it's a necessity, right? You really can't get away without doing some sort of video. And I'm not here to say, hey, you need to hire us to do everything. I'm here to help you figure out how you can implement video as much as possible, especially right now. All right, let me know if you got at least my email. That is my, okay, so email me or text me right now that you want this information. That way, just in case it gets lost and you forget to contact Shirley, I'll be giving it to you. Make sure that you see my email in the chat. And then also, the best thing you can do, honestly, is email me, but also leave your email address or send it to me in private or email it to me. Rather, send me your email address in the chat room. Okay, all right, let's go. This has been an amazing time to do video on your own. I mean, look, honestly, I started really encouraging this in April. I've always been encouraging it, but especially right when all this stuff went down, like March, April, I was like, okay, how are people going to continue to communicate through video? So I honestly didn't think it you know, I'm not a health expert, but I didn't expect this to take as long as it has. And we're way past half the year already. And you know, if you're not communicating on already with video, now's your now's your chance for the last part of the year, last half of the year. But the point is for me to help you how to create virtual showings, virtual open houses. And then one of the biggest things, I actually just added this today, is how you can take everything we're going to show you how to do today and then start to compound your visibility on YouTube. Because I'll show you some stats, but ever since COVID-19, YouTube has grown like exponentially in terms of viewership. I've actually, our channels are getting, like, one of our channels is getting like 20 subscriptions every couple of days. It's ridiculous. Like, people are hungry for content and they're looking for it. So we are the content providers, right? My big saying is always just, you have to look at yourself as a media company, and you're communicating your message through media, right? Social media. What are you doing on social media? You're sharing information, you're providing education, you're educating your sphere on current markets, or if you have a new listing. So look at yourself as a media company, and then this is not going to seem so daunting, because you're going to be like, okay, this is part of what I have to do now. And it's not because you have to become a video producer or a videographer. It's just that, you know, it's a tool. And think about it, you're using a cell phone, you're using email. At some point, somebody was like, hey, that's an option for me, but I don't need it right now. And then at some point, everybody's communicating on cell phones and email. If I'm not on there, then I'm losing an opportunity. So look at this as if you're not doing this, you're losing opportunity. And you can look at stats, you can look at high level, you know, producers. They're going to tell you they're communicating on video, right? And they're not necessarily, again, hiring me to come in and my team to film everything you send each of your clients. No, this is just understanding the tools that are available and doing it on your own and implementing that in your business. All right. Let me know if that makes sense. You know, give me a little feedback on that. If I'm going all over the place, reel me in, let me know if we're going in the right direction. Okay. All right. So today, what we can implement already right now is the do's and don'ts for open houses and showings, right? So some of the immediate, easy tools to use are Facebook Lives, FaceTime, Zoom, case in point here today, right? And so you have to look at, what am I doing every day, every week, and how can I film that, or how can I communicate what I'm doing to my audience on a regular basis? So we have a resource center for you guys where I can give you a ton of free stuff, tutorials, other webinars we've done with the association, webinars I've done on my own. It's just free stuff. I can give you examples of what you can do, what top producers are doing, how we're helping them, and how you can do it on your own. Okay. Again, so if you want any of this, just message me publicly. If you don't mind having your email there right now in chat, or message me privately. But if you do it on the public chat, when I get the transcription, I'll be able to see it as well. And then email me or text me, okay? So those are just examples, okay? And I can send you the slide as well. Now, again, this is another webinar I did. I just did this on my own. It was like a Zoom presentation for my clients. And I'm making it available for you guys if you want. I'll give you just a really quick summary. How can you take what you're doing, like I said earlier, documenting it, filming it, and then leveraging it on YouTube? Because right now, people during this crisis, people are on YouTube a lot. Facebook and YouTube. Facebook actually was on there a lot more, and then YouTube passed Facebook again just this year, right? A lot of people are saying, oh, I don't have a lot of people on my YouTube channel. From day one, I've always said, fill your YouTube library. Fill it even if you feel like people aren't going there. Because at some point, things always fluctuate, and you always want to have a library where people can go visit, okay? So whatever I'm going to share with you today, I want you to think, how can I get this, what I'm doing, and then put it on YouTube again? Okay, how can I leverage it, repurpose it on YouTube? So everything I'm doing, I can go back on my YouTube channel, and then you can see a library of things. Now, some really quick stats. Like I mentioned earlier, YouTube surpassed Facebook as the most popular video platform. All right, how many of you guys knew that? I was kind of surprised as well, because I did see less people on YouTube, because people go on YouTube for specific things, right? They're like how to change your oil in your car or whatever, how to craft for your kids or whatever, how to stay sane and at home with your kids during quarantine. So people go on YouTube for specific things, but you don't want to miss that opportunity to have your videos be the thing that they find, right? And then you can always send your clients there. Hey, check out my YouTube channel. I have a ton of tutorials, or like I have a ton of educational video series that you can check out there. You know, like how to, you know, what to know about escrow, what to know about, you know, insurance, whatever you want to talk about. Okay. Also, live videos. I really want to focus on live videos with you guys today, because it's the easiest way for you to stop doing video, or stop putting up barriers for you to do video. All right. So if we're not used to doing something, our body, our mind tries to find every single thing that we can bring up and give us a reason why not to do what we're not comfortable doing, right? At some point, I wasn't comfortable doing these webinars, but I said, hey, is this really who I am, or is this something that I'm used to not doing webinars? So how do I do a webinar? Well, you gotta, like, you know, get your feet wet. So now I love doing them. So do a live video, because it's the easiest way for you to start doing content now, right now. And I'll show you how you can take your Facebook Live and download it, and then put it on your YouTube channel, and then put it on your Instagram, and then put it on your Twitter, right? So it's all about repurposing. It's just finding the strategy and following through with that, okay? So anytime I do a Facebook Live, the reason I like doing them is because it's gonna go on Facebook right away. Facebook actually favors it, so it's gonna be seen more. And then at some point, I'm gonna download it and then put it all across all my other social media channels. And the beautiful thing about a live video is you should have less expectations, and so will your audience. Meaning, when you're going live, they know you're live. They're not expecting you to have everything polished. They're not expecting everything you show them to be highly produced, right? So if you're worried about, well, I only sell luxury properties, I don't want to, you know, ruin my brand. A live video is a live video, right? People at all, you know, agents from in all different price points do live videos, right? So when you're walking through a property, people are going to understand that this is a live video. The lighting's not always going to be perfect. I'm going to show you how you can make lighting better, but it's not always going to be perfect, and you can, you know, walk through and show only the best parts of the home, because it's the first date, right, with your property and whoever's watching. So anyway, we'll go into that later. And so you want to have the mindset of, I can do video, I can do live video. And again, you don't have to be talking every single moment. A lot of times people hate dead space. They're like, wait a second, I have to be talking the whole time. Otherwise there's this uncomfortable pause. But a pause actually helps the listeners kind of get reeled in, right? Because they're expecting you to talk, and then you don't, and you have a nice little pause. Pauses and gaps are great. Think about music, right? There's usually like a nice little pause in between, or there's a section in music where there's no note, right? But what makes music beautiful is the note and the parts that aren't any notes, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be music. So think about that also when you're communicating video. Right? You want to have pauses. You don't want to just ramble, kind of what I'm doing right now. But I'm trying to get you as much information as possible. Now, authenticity is super key. All right? How many of you follow what I'm talking about right now? I want to make sure we're getting thumbs up. Everybody's following me on this. We're not, I'm not going too fast. All right. I need some thumbs up, guys. Let me know what's going on. Are we following all good? Does it make sense? And I'm giving you a lot of general overview, but this is just to kind of set up. This is the foundation. We're laying the foundation for what I'm about to tell you guys. All right, very cool. Thank you guys for that feedback. Now, equipment, right? So everybody's like, I gotta go get a video camera. I gotta go do this. No, you don't. You have your phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, you have your phone. That's all you need, okay? Now, if you are interested in this Facebook group, once we get done, I'll go ahead and add you to the group. It's just something we're on there weekly. We're giving away free coaching sessions. We're giving away feedback. It's a great way for you guys to interact with each other, peer-to-peer, feedback, whatnot. So get on that private Facebook group, and I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat room. You guys can start adding yourselves right now. And again, now whenever you're going, now I'm going to set the boundary, like the foundation, and then I'm going to dive into the steps. Okay, smartphone. You grab your phone, and you don't need a selfie stick. And some of this might be very basic for a lot of you guys, but I'm going to go through it just in case there's some of you that need to be reminded of this. But really, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your phone, and you're going to you're going to present in this fashion, selfie mode, right? Everybody know what selfie mode is? So you're going to grab your phone, and now I have one of these pop, I forgot what they're called, pop sockets. All right, learned something new. Now I like it just because I can fold it away, put it in my pocket, pop it back out, grab it with my finger, be able to, get in there, right? Grab the phone, and then you want to go in selfie mode. And there's actually a study, I don't have it with me here, but there's a study where if you film in selfie mode, your audience feel more invited to what you're presenting, because it's almost like here's my partner, or hey, you know what, you're over my shoulder, or hey, you're alongside me. You're not just a fly in the wall. You're going alongside me in this journey. Okay. And what I recommend is anytime that you are filming yourself, right, because you can go back and forth when you're doing a virtual walkthrough, you want to have, and I'll talk about this when we get to the steps, but just to give you an overview, you want to have your light source in front of you, right, behind the phone, behind the camera. So in case in point, you're watching this webinar, the light source is behind my camera, right? If I face a window and I have my phone and it's pointed in selfie mode, the window is giving me the best light source, and that's going to translate into your video. You don't want the light source behind you, right? So let's say this is the light source and I'm talking, because it's going to make your face all dark. People are going to see your expressions as well, right? It's going to be very shadowy, right? You want to have the light source shining on your face, okay? So right now I have an artificial light, but if I had no choice, I would go to the light source, which is a window or a doorway, and do my opening or do whatever. Whenever I'm on camera like this, I find it. So if I walk into a room and I'm going to switch the camera to me, then I know that I need to find a light source and then face that light source, right? You never want to have the light source behind your head. Does that make sense? Everybody get that? Everybody follow me regarding light source. Selfie mode is when you're taking a selfie like this, like when you have it up, when you have the camera or your phone up and it's facing you, right? Versus you filming or saying, hey, friend, can you record me as I talk? And then you pass them the phone and they record you. That's not selfie mode. Selfie mode is when you're doing everything. You're creating that selfie mode. Does that make sense? So on your phone, you open up your right here. Where's that? You open up your phone, and now you can see. You'll flip the camera. Okay. If you need help with that, just let me know. But I'm That's selfie mode. Now, when you are holding your phone, these are little tricks. You want to be at eye level, right? At eye level or higher. Can anybody guess why you want to be at eye level or higher? Okay, this is interactive, guys. I need your feedback. So can anybody guess why you want to be at eye level or higher when you're filming selfie mode? Right. Okay, so thank you. So you want to have that best position, right? And every time you look down, you know, stuff starts to sag forward, right? It's the truth. And so you want to be looking up, so things are more tight, your face is more flush. You're able to see, they're able to see you better, right? And exactly, they don't want to be looking up your nose. All right, unless they're a doctor and you're on a Zoom call for that specifically. Microphone, use your phone. And you can always buy a lapel mic, but don't worry about that right now. Get your feet wet, and then in the group you can ask me for specifics on that. And just make sure you're kind of in a quiet area. Don't go outside in the street and zoom, 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 cars going by, and you're gonna record your video there. That's not the best place. You wanna be somewhat in a quiet space. It's not always gonna be quiet, and that's okay, but just at least start your video in a quiet space and then move through the house. Audio is a very important piece, actually. Most people will tune out if there's bad audio, meaning like if you couldn't hear me right now or was breaking in and out, you might actually just jump off this webinar. You're just, I can't hear this guy. I can't understand what he's saying, right? Okay. So again, join the private Facebook group. Let me just do this real quick. So you guys have it. Let me know, did you guys get this link? This is the private Facebook group that we're offering to, welcoming you guys into if you want. Again, we're on it daily, weekly, giving, we're giving away coaching sessions. We're giving you feedback, peer-to-peer, positive feedback there as well. And it's all real stuff. So join the fun, guys. Okay, so this is this is another private Facebook group, and then you can see kind of like the interaction, right? People are helping people. All right, now, there are 3 phases in video typically and in your business, I would say for the most part, and this is some very general stuff for you just so you understand kind of where I'm coming from. So you have your audience who you're prospecting, right? They're kind of your cold audience, and you have your building trust audience where they're kind of warming up to you, and then you have your customer base, that's your hot audience, right? So at some point, just giving you an idea to think about something to digest right now is like, at some point you're gonna want to start creating content for each of these phases, right? You don't want to just isolate one and forget about the other, okay? And I have some examples of all those that I can share with you, but again, you have those that are cold, warm, and then hot, right? Your hot audience will, for example, watch or listen to something longer than someone in your cold audience, right? Because they don't have rapport with you. Your cold audience doesn't have rapport with you. They might not care about what you have to offer. They might not care what you have to say, but your hot audience will, right? So you might be able to get away with doing a 5-minute video versus a 30-second video for your cold audience, right? So you got to think about that, okay? Now, platforms. I talked about Facebook Live, right? Who's done a Facebook Live? How many of you have done Facebook Lives? Chat away, guys. Chat away. I need some feedback from you guys. I want to know who's doing it, who's not. How many of you guys want some feedback on that as well? Okay. Okay. Some of you. Good. Good. All right. So that's a platform. Obviously, you have your FaceTime platform. So what I would say is, if you don't have a specific client that you're wanting to walk through the home with, then I would do a Facebook Live. If you want something very private for them, then you could do a FaceTime. right? FaceTime, everybody, if you have an iPhone. Now, if you have an Android, then you can do, there's plenty of apps that you can do, that you can download, that'll have that same type of effect, or that same type of result. Zoom is a perfect example. You can do a Zoom call, then you can download that, upload it to a private source if it's kind of more of like a private thing, and then you can have a link for them all the time, right? So let's say you walk somebody through the home and they're like, that was great. You can follow up with them, give them some value, right? You upload it somewhere private, say, hey, here's a private link. If you ever want to walk through the house again with me, there it is, right? It's not just one and done. And it's a great opportunity for you to reconnect with them, right? You can connect with them again, be like, hey, here's that link that will show you what we did together. And a Facebook Live, I'm just going to go back to this real quick. A Facebook Live will again allow you to download and give that out to everybody. So this is kind of like if you're just saying, hey, I have this listing, I want to show people, talk to people about it, here it is. Okay. Obviously we talked about Zoom. It can be private. It can be, I would do Zoom. So here's my feedback. My thoughts is I would do Zoom for either private or one-to-one. Facebook Live for one-to-many, meaning like you, one-to-many, meaning like many people in your audience. That way you can, leverage that on other social media. Zoom and FaceTime or anything like that is really, I think you can do one-to-one. You can also use Zoom to build your library if you're trying to do like a show, right? So like a Facebook Live show, a Zoom show, where you're interviewing different people in your business, or interviewing a client, whatever. Just think about all these tools bigger than just one application, right? Okay, so here are some do and don'ts, right? Do make sure that you have good cell service, right? So you show up to the house, right? And you have good cell service. If possible, I always say connect directly to the Wi-Fi, right? If you're not connected to the Wi-Fi, make sure you have good connection. Then you want to obviously look the part, right? We talked about having it, selfie mode, and then I would say wipe down your camera. See, a lot of times when people go in selfie mode, they forget that they just had their phone to their ear and smudging all over. So whenever you see a video that looks cloudy or that looks kind of almost dreamy, it's typically because they forgot to wipe down the camera, right? So I would wipe down both lenses with your shirt or whatever, wipe the back, wipe the front, make sure it's clean, and then you're good to go, right? So then you start, and then you follow the plan. So I would walk, I would walk through the property like you would walk through a home buyer or potential home buyer through the house, right? And then I would not go into every single room, right? This isn't like you're not creating a virtual Matterport, like, 3D walk tour, whatever. Let the pros do that. This is like, hey, I am showing you this property. Here are the best highlights. And so, for example, you would go through the property like you would for a home buyer. Okay, and I'll break that down for you. And then I have a simple storyboarding handout I can send you. This is basically a great template for you to follow if you are, wanting more structure. Okay, and then what happened there? Yeah, and so leverage your work, right? So whenever you are done filming, whatever, repurpose it, right? Use it on multiple platforms. And then I do have, what happened there? Okay, I do have a social media tutorial for strategy if you want that as well. Again, all this stuff's free. There's no upsell on that. It's just free stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through the simple storyboarding and kind of the flow of the property and what to do, what not to do. I would say 10 minutes is good. 5 to 10 minutes is kind of like a sweet spot for the full length, right? And I say the reason we have different versions is because we have different audiences, right? We have a cold, warm, and hot. your cold audience is not necessarily going to watch a 10-minute video. They might, but you want to be able to catch as many people interested in your property as possible. So you're going to create a couple different lengths. So you just film your like you would normally, right? So walk through the house, and I'm going to show you how, and then you cut that into smaller pieces, and you can literally do that on your phone. It's super easy, that way you can put like your short videos on Instagram stories and IGTV and Facebook. And so like if you're able to put these on different platforms, because every social media platform has different like length requirements or length minimums, maximums. So that's why you also want to have these. Okay, everybody follow that so far? Any questions before I proceed to this, how you flow and how you film? Oh, cool, more people are coming on. Okay, cool, no questions. All right, so like I mentioned earlier, you want to be able to film on your phone in selfie mode. I always say start off somewhere where a location you like. It could be the front, could be the back. I'm going to walk you through just something simple so you can just kind of stick to that if you want. But let's say we start in the front, right? And you have your phone, and I'm going to assume you're doing Facebook Live, okay? You want to be in horizontal mode. This is vertical, this is horizontal. Horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. The main difference is when you do it vertically, you cut out so much of the room, right? But when I do horizontal, I'm able to position myself in the image on my phone on, let's say, this section of the video, and then the rest I can show the home behind me, right? So I can be like, let's pretend this is your be like, hey, this is the room behind me. Check it out. These beautiful 2 doors behind me, closet to the right. See how I am positioned myself on the screen. Like you can see all this around me, right? You could be Vanna White. Hey, everybody, look at this beautiful home behind me. Some people are gonna ask, I'm sure, well, why don't you just flip the camera? And you can. You just have to choose which ones you want to do. Like you have to choose at what points, right? Because you might introduce the home initially with you on camera being, hey, everybody, I'm at 1234 Street. This beautiful property behind me is expansive, has some of the 3 things that I love are, boom, boom, boom. Let's go inside. I'm going to have you take a look, okay? Now, and then you can even talk to them. I'm going to switch you guys over so you can see more of the house and not me. Boom, click you over. All right, we're about to walk through the front of the house. As you can see, there's lush landscaping, beautifully done. And then you start there, right? And then you go and you open the door and you walk in, right? And there's a standard flow for me, which is front entrance, living room, areas, master, additional rooms if needed, then backyard. You don't want to show everything. You have to think of this as the first date. Whenever anybody goes on the first date, you're not gonna dump all your life, in that conversation at once. You're gonna focus on the things that are appealing, right? The things that you're excited about to share. You can't just dump on everybody all the information. The house is every home is got a ton of information to be shared with the potential buyer. So you just want to get them excited about it. I even say if you want to break up the house and create more content, is you do one full walkthrough, and then every week just pick an area, right? And you talk about that area. So let's say we did this whole walkthrough, and later on you're like, hey, I want to do more video. Then start in the front again. Be like, hey, you know what? If you haven't watched the full length of this virtual walkthrough, I'm going to provide the link below. But I wanted to talk to you about this front yard. This tree is actually, 80 years old or whatever, 100 years old. It was, you start to story tell about some of the things, right? And you're going to say, well, not every home's like that. No, obviously not every home's going to have a 100-year-old tree, but every home is unique, and you could pull from that. It's just about getting creative. So you could say, hey, you know what? They just had this front yard redone a year ago. They put in fresh sod. you know, and then there's plumeria trees all along here. You know, I don't know if you know about plumerias, but plumerias, you know, and then you kind of talk about that a little bit, right? So it's just about storytelling through your perspective. All right. Tell me if you follow me, guys, on that, if you have any questions. And I have an example, but I don't know if, I don't know how much time we have. Okay, 10:40. I think we go to 11. Come on now. So many people on this Zoom call that that YouTube won't open. And I can send you guys that example. Okay, I have some questions here. Okay. Let me go through those really quick. Come on. I don't know if I can scroll up. I want to, but too scared to misspeak. Hey, I'm there with you. I have been scared to misspeak. I'm scared to misspeak most days. But that's how we communicate. So whenever you hold back, you're losing an opportunity to speak, to really communicate your you know, your value proposition, what your value is by someone listening with you, or you know, you being their buyer's agent. Can you show us how to Zoom a call and host a Zoom call? Yeah, that seems like that might be a different webinar, but yeah, definitely. Are you saying to do a live video? Are you saying to do a live video during a virtual open house? Yes. Yes, absolutely. So I would say that's how you do a virtual showing, a virtual open house, through a live video. Again, it's just leveraging, right? Because you can do it on your phone, and then you may or may not upload that. And it plus of Facebook Live allows for interaction. If you just record it on your phone, your friends, your peers might not be able to say, "Hey, that's a cool house," and you can see it come up, and then be like, "Oh, thanks. Hey, thanks, Shirley. I'm glad you liked the home so far. Oh, you like the kitchen? Yeah, I love the countertops. They just put those in." Right? So there's interaction in a live video. Does that make sense, Carol? Let me know. Following you will touch on editing. Yes. So I have a tutorial on editing, super easy. I want to give you guys the strategy, and then I'll give you the tools with links and stuff like that, so you can dive in, because everybody might not want to dive into editing, right? So that's why I'm just covering a Facebook Live, because a Facebook Live, you're gonna just do a live. You don't have to go and edit. Now you can edit like shorter versions, right? So if you have a 10-minute video, you can shorten it by just using your phone, right? You don't have to go to like an editing software. But yes, Christina, I can touch on editing, and I can definitely follow up with me on editing, and I can help you out with that. Okay. All right. Everybody follow so far? Yes. Okay, good. Now, don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to show you guys a storyboard. What a storyboard is just a map, right? So how I would film, it's a map, right? So this room by room is easier to follow, and because you already are going to present a home this way. If you had a buyer walk through with you, present it in that same way, right? So, and I'll just repeat it again. In the front, right, you're going to find some good lighting, something that you're happy with. Obviously, lighting's not going to change your face. Your face is what your face is. My face is what my face is. I'm on here. I can see my face. I can't change my face, but I can change lighting, right? So I can do artificial lighting. See, it's dark. Can't see me. Put on some artificial, or I go over to a light source. If you're outside, it's a little bit better. Just be mindful of, you know, this. A lot of times when it's bright outside, you tend to do this. You just get under some shade or something. Open up, right? To say, hey, everybody, I'm going to do just this, walk you through this open house here real quick, show you this beautiful property, and just walk through the house, right? Walk through the house. You can be in selfie mode and then go back and forth. You can go back and forth from selfie mode to you, to showing the house. So everybody follow that, right? Or do you want me to walk through a property? Let me know. Okay. So let me just look at the questions real quick. That idea is awesome. When you highlight each room, people can spend time. Yes. Yes, exactly. So, you know, you can basically go back and create like a series of Facebook Lives for each room or each space, following up from your full length walkthrough, virtual open house. Okay. How do you post live videos? You don't post live videos, you just create one and Facebook will post it automatically for you. Is it better to use an iPad or an iPhone? Depends on how old your iPad is or how old your iPhone is. So I would go with whichever one is newest, because that's just what it is. How do you meet DRE requirements or DRE broker name on post every? So once you do live, and then you can actually, before you go live, it'll ask you to, you know, what you want to say, what you want to post and title there. So, you know, post what you need to stay, you know, to stay within those requirements. Make sure you're not following those guidelines, right? So does that make sense? So anytime you film a video, even if it's live, it's going to ask you, what do you want to say about this video? What is it about? And then you can put your DRE number and any, the word is slipping me, but you know, you want to stay, you know, you want to follow the requirements and guidelines. Okay. Sandy, let me know if that answered your question. Compliant. Yes, Christina, thank you. I could totally forget that one. Compliant. Yes, compliant. Who sees Facebook Live? How does your audience know that you're doing Facebook Live? So if you don't have a professional or a business page, I would create a business page. Then you can do your virtual open houses on that, and then tag yourself, your personal Facebook, and that way it'll show up on your wall as well. If you're gonna do one ahead of time, you can actually schedule it and let people know, and that's a great way to like build anticipation and let people know. So even if you're doing, like if it's Friday and you're gonna do it on Monday, so all my podcasts, I have a podcast if you want to listen. It's called The Real Podcast. I'll send you some links, but I always post about it leading up to the podcast, and then I schedule it typically the week before, and then people get notified, and then I share that, right? So I share that on pages. I share that on, if you join the group, you'll notice that there's some there. I share it on groups. I share it on, you know, wherever. So you can share your Facebook Live to all the different networking groups that you're part of in Facebook, right? Or you can send an email like, hey, on Monday at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna be at this house. But again, that's gonna make you commit to it, which is good. But you let people know that way. Does that answer your question, Carrie? All right, guys, let me know if I'm answering your questions. If I'm not, let me know. There's no other way I can know unless you say something. Okay, great. Thank you, Carrie. All right, so this here, again, I suggest doing the Facebook Live, what I told you, but if you want to follow, if you want to see a very simple approach, this is how I would, let me see, where's my light? There's my light, okay. This is how I would go about it, right? Step one, clip number one. Now, if you're not doing a Facebook Live, rather, if you are or you're not, you can follow this template. The only reason it's broken up into clips, it is so you can go back and piece it together in some sort of editing. But I'm not going to talk on that right now. I'm just going to talk about how you can use this strategy or this template to follow and do your virtual open houses. Okay? Now let me know if you're doing a virtual open house differently. And if you are, then that's good feedback for me, and I can tweak things. So if you're doing a virtual open house already, if you're doing a virtual walkthrough and it's different than what I'm presenting to you, let me know. Because maybe there's an opportunity for me to say, hey, that's a great way of doing it. How about if you tweak it and then do this so you can add more value? All right, so chat with me and let me know. So the first thing is like, open up with a question or a fact, right? So this is not necessarily for an open house. My example is more for like an educational video. So if you're doing an educational video series, you might open up with, hey, are you scared that you might have to lower your home's listing price because your home has been on the market for too long? right? Something like that. In this market, I don't think that's happening, but it's a good way for you to add content, and then somebody Googles that, and you might come up, right? Depending on how much content you're building. But in this case, it's, and I'm in Carlsbad. So are you the market for a home in Carlsbad, single level, right close to the beach? Right? That's the question. That's just questions help you reel in your audience. How many of you done that before? So even that question, I was purposely asking it, but the reason I asked it is because then if you were reading already and I asked the questions, likely that you'd be like, wait, what did he ask? Or wait, what's going on? What was his question? Right? So you can break thought, you can break pattern through questions. All right, everybody follow that? As the first step makes sense for everybody. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I need to know. It's going to help me to make sure everybody's moving along. Okay, good. Thank you. Yes. All right. So imagine that's what you're doing, and they say, "Hey, I'm David Moya with Video Sales Real Estate, and today I'm going to share with you this beautiful property here in Carlsbad, close to the beach, single level, and I have a surprise for you at the end of this video." You can kind of allude to something interesting about the property. This may be the home for you if you're looking for if you're a multi-generational family looking, to take care of, your family, whatever. It has a huge master, rather it has a huge guest house or whatever. Then you go ahead and just simply talk about 3 things in the home that you like. So you say, hey, come on this house real quick. Hey, to the left, you see the living room. To the right, you see this huge dining room. But I'm not going to talk about that today. If you want to know more about that, let me know. But here, I'm going to share with you 3 things that I love about this house. One is this staircase. It is massive. It's, it's huge, dual staircase leading to an amazing upper level, even though I said single level earlier. So ignore that. But whatever it is that you want to focus on, right? So that's one. And then so this beautiful, and then you can talk a little bit about that. And then you're going to move to a new topic, right? A new bullet point that you're trying to communicate. So let's say it's the kitchen. I love this part of the house. All right, but what else excites me is this beautiful kitchen, right? And then you can kind of go into that kitchen and then talk about whatever it is that you like about the kitchen, right? And then you go, hey, before I end this, I want to share with you guys that surprise I wanted to talk to you about. Come look at this beautiful guest house, and then you can talk about, hey, it's great income if you want to rent it out, or it's great if you have a multi-generational family set up. You can have your in-laws here, whatever, or nanny quarters, or whatever. Hey, if you want more information about this property, let me know. That's going to reel in some people that way. Okay. Now that's how I would go about if you're wanting to create, very succinct virtual open houses and not lose people because you're doing too much, right? So you don't want to go in and like, hey, this is the powder room. Over here is the half bathroom, overdo that. You want to just get in there, show them the highlights and be like, you can talk about the rooms, but I wouldn't go in each room unless you want to do a long version of it, like a 10-minute, because it's going to take you 10, 15 minutes, right? And it's not daunting. It's just, it's going to take you time. I would say, again, stay on the highlights, stay on what you like, stay on what's exciting about the property for you, right? And if it's a 5 bedrooms, go to the master, maybe 1 additional room. Say like, hey, this is one of 4 bedrooms. You've seen the master. This is one of 4 bedrooms. This is what it looks like. And the other are down the hall. You can kind of show them. And anyway, that's just my take. I've seen people with the clients we work with our coaching clients. It's like, if we're able to keep things very, moving forward and very exciting and entertaining, then we keep our audience, and then they want more, right? And then we follow up with more information, right? So they say, hey, I love the living room. I didn't see it when you showed it. Can you send me any information on it or whatever? That's how you follow up, right? It's conversation. You want to give some space for that, for your audience to talk back to you and see what they want to hear about from you. Okay, and then obviously you can close however you like. I always say, I reintroduce myself. So I say, hey, David Moy with videosalesrealestate.com. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to comment below, send me a direct message. And then you want to do a call to action, right? At the end of your videos. If you like what you saw today, be sure to subscribe to our channel or email me, call me. You know, you can give your name, number, email address. And at the end, you want to have like a close and information contact slide. And if you're curious how to do that, you can just, you know, if you're doing a Facebook Live, you can just put it on, like I said earlier, on your description section. And if not, you can do it actually, you can actually create an end card on canva.com. It's a great free source. So, all right. And then let's get on here. Everybody follow so far? Oh, sure. Yep. Asking questions has been a great way for you. Francis, please go ahead and answer or ask questions. I see that your hand's raised. Yes, yes, perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, so tutorials and whatnot. I have a lot that I've just done over the years because our clients need it. Who else can help you but us when we're working with you side by side. We know what you need, what tends to be the question. So we have free tutorials. I'm going to give you a quick little summary. So assume you did your Facebook Live, okay, and you recorded it, you walked through the house, and you did it in your own style, in your own way. You were telling story through the visuals, through your conversation. And then you're like, okay, great. What do I do? It's on Facebook Live. It's on Facebook now. Okay, great. That's step number one, right? Step number two is this is a very simple way for you to think of your just distribution of your social media, right? So let's take YouTube. Let me see how much time I have. And Shirley, I don't know. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. So I don't know if we can go over or not. Let me know if we can. But this is a great way for you to distribute your content, right? So earlier I talked about a trailer, main and full. You can cut up your Facebook Live and then start posting these on different platforms in this manner, okay? It might look overwhelming and daunting, but if you actually look at it, it's pretty simple. At minimum, you should take what you recorded and just upload it to YouTube, right? And upload it to Instagram, upload it to Twitter, upload it to LinkedIn. You can see the last part. So you want to be able to take your video and upload it to all these channels. And we have a ton of tutorials like how to do all these things that we talked about, and it's free. It's on our channels, so you can dive in and take a look. My whole purpose was to create a big picture structure, and then you can go in and do it. So let me know real quick before I go to the next slide, like any questions so far? Where are we missing? Does it seem too daunting? Does it feel like you can actually attain this? Are there gaps? Did I miss something? Did I not connect the dots enough? Do things seem too separate, like too disconnected? Okay. Please send me recording. It's not perfect. It's not too daunting. Okay, perfect. Videosalesrealestate.com. If you just I can show you if you go to videosalesrealestate.com or our Facebook, you'll find that. I want to see if I think I have. No, I don't know if that's here. I was gonna say I can send you like a showcase, a Dropbox showcase that has like all this information on there as well. So thank you, Debbie. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to make sure you guys are not overworking, right? So basically overworking where you need to, meaning like, going out and getting listings and helping your buyers, but when you're filming, making it as easy as possible, then taking what you did and repurposing it across multiple social media channels so you're everywhere. If anything, that's what I want to communicate. Eileen, thank you. Great job. Thank you, Christina. Lots of good info. Thank you, Sandy. Again, don't overthink it, right? And if there's stuff I've missed because I'm not aware of certain, you know, being compliant, then let me know, because we'll figure out ways to make sure you're compliant. But essentially, you're going to create a Facebook Live as a virtual open house, right? So you can interact with people, get that interaction going. Then you're going to leverage that video again, download it, and then put it across your channels, okay? Thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Share. Nice. Well done. Thank you. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. If not, we're pretty much wrapped up here, and I have literally tons of information if you want, Francis. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Shirley, well, thank you so much. I don't know if you need to come back on or if we just stop the share. Awesome. Thanks so much, Claudia. Thank you, Jody. Thank you. Shirley, go ahead and just let me know if you want to exit, stop the share and exit, or if you would like for me to wait for you to come back on. We had a lot of people here today, so that's great. And I'm confident that if you guys do this over the next couple of months of the remaining part of the year, you're going to have a great way to communicate with your audience and build your online presence. Can I just ask whether you have, can we just ask you for one email? Sandy, I'm not sure I understand the question, but my email is david@videosalesrealestate.com. Let's put it on there again. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. Have a great day. Have a great week. And I'm headed out of town, so wish me safe travels, and we'll be in touch, and join the group. Talk to you soon.